This is the 2022 Audi A5 Sportback. There are two models to the A5. There is the 40 and the 45. The 40 has 201 horses under the hood, and the 45 has 261 horses under the hood. 60 horses more than the 40. Now, the model that we have today is the 40, the Prestige model, which has all the bells and whistles that you will be seeing shortly. Our A5 also comes with a sport suspension because it is an S-Line series. All right, that's enough introduction. Let's get into the exterior of the Audi A5 Prestige Sportback. Check out these fully LED dynamic headlights on the A5. This aggressive looking grille, these 19-inch wheels, these 3D printed fully LED taillights, functional exhaust vents, and an enlarged sunroof. The A5 also has entry sensors. To unlock the car, all you have to do is you insert your hand into the inside of the door handle and it'll unlock for you. If you want to lock it, all you have to do is you touch this part right here where the sensor is and it locks it. Taking a look at the interior. Now that we're in the driver's seat of the A5, we get a good look at what it has to offer. We have the 12.3-inch virtual cockpit. We have the 10.1-inch infotainment screen. We have child locks here and here. We have one-touch windows. We have the window adjusters. And we have our locks, unlocks, and our settings for our seating. Then over here, looking at the steering wheel, we have this beautiful Audi emblem. We have call and voice commands. We have heated steering wheel. We have a repeat and skip feature for your songs, your media. We have the volume settings here. You scroll this way to turn it down, this way to turn it up. Then over here, we have the view, which is exactly what it sounds like. It changes the view of the virtual cockpit. See? So if we click on the arrows, it's going to take us to our contacts. It's going to take us to our media if we have something hooked up. And then it's also going to give us important information, as you can see. We have the multi-use scroller over here for whatever menu you may be in. Then we have our paddle shifters right here. We have our controls to do the windshield wipers. Then we have this stalk right here, which controls your cruise control. And then we have this stalk right here, which is where you signal. We also have this button right here, which turns on and off your lane assist. So to turn it on, you'll see right here an icon will pop up. Your lane assist is activated. To turn it off, you click the button again and it turns it off. That's how you know if it's on or off. Now that's enough with the virtual cockpit and the steering wheel functions. Let's now move over to our 10.1-inch infotainment screen. Now there is a lot to cover, but for the sake of conciseness, we're just going to go over a few of the most important features. So if we look at the quick tabs, we have our home, and from here you have all these different widgets that you can access, and there's more. There's still more if you swipe to the right, and then more if you swipe to the left. We have our media, our current connected phone, and then our navigation. We have radio, we have our media, we have calls, and we have the standard Audi navigation. Then moving down, we have the hazards, and that's a really nice touch, giving it a nice illumination. Then turning that off, we're going to move down to climate control. Currently it's off. To turn it on, all we simply have to do is turn this button to turn it on. It's dual zone. You can control your temperature on this side and this side. Digital screen. The A5 also has automatic climate control. You click it to turn it on, and then you could click it to turn it off. Then we have our 3 increments of heated seats and 3 increments of cooled seats. Then we have our defrosters for the front and the rear. And then moving over here, we have circulating the air within the car. And then we have the heated seats on this side for the passenger, as well as the cooling. Now, something that I especially love about this is, check this out. When you hover over a button, it gives you the options. You see that? It gives you the options that are selectable. It's a really nice feature. You click it and it gives you different settings for the driver's seat, for the passenger seat, where you want the air to circulate. Defrosters, it's very neat. I really love the hovering effect. Really love it. Now that we're done with the climate control, we're going to shut it off, and it shuts everything off. One button. Very nice. Moving down here, we have our drive select. We have comfort, we have auto, we have dynamic, and then we have individual. Comfort is the chill version of driving. You're not in a rush, you're not in a hurry, you just want to cruise and relax. Now, when you're doing dynamic, that's the equivalent of sport mode. You're trying to get somewhere. You're trying to get the most performance from your A5. Now, the auto is a hybrid between the two because it takes into account how you're driving and it sets it between comfort and dynamic. Next up, we have the start stop. Now, when you have this off, that means that your car, when you're idling at a stoplight, for example, it's not going to cut the engine off. It's going to keep it going. Then we have traction control right here. You could turn it off or you could turn it on. You get a little warning as you saw. Then we have parking assist and parking sensors. Now moving down, we have our push start. We have a 12 volt and we have a USB port. We have 2 adjustable cup holders right here. We have some storage space and we have our shifter. Now, let's see how the shifter works. Okay, we're going to turn the car on so that we can make movements to it. Now, you have to click the button right here on the side, and then you're going to move it in what direction you want to do. If you want to move it to drive, you're going to pull it back. If you want it to go in reverse, you're going to push the button again and push it forward. Okay, we get our rears, and we get the 360 camera, and then if we want to put it in park, we're just going to push the button here, and then we have our parking brake right here. You just push up on it. Then moving over here, we have our knob to control our media. So if you want your music to be louder, you're going to move it clockwise. If you want it to be quieter, you're going to move it counterclockwise. If you want to skip, you're going to push it to the right. If you want to repeat a song, you're going to push it to the left. Then we have some storage here, which is most likely for the key fob. And this is what the key fob looks like for the A5, a pretty standard key fob. We have our unlock, our lock, and then you tap it 2 times to open the trunk, and then our panic. And then it has these 2 buttons on the side that if you push them together, the physical key pops out like so. Now looking over here, we have some extra storage space down here. Now this is going to be for your phone. The wireless charger is right here, so you can set your phones here and they'll charge them for you. And then we have some extra storage space here, and then a little bit of space here, most likely for some pens. The materials in the A5 are high quality. We have wood grain here and along the dash. It's really nice. It feels good. It's not going to be the best, but it does feel good, and it is of high quality. They did a good job on the Audi. Now, the steering wheel is not as padded as others, but it feels all right. Now, something to keep in mind is that the A5 has a sunroof, and it's an enlarged sunroof. Now, to open it, you're going to push on this button, bringing it backwards. So push that way, and it's going to open the screen, okay? Once the screen is fully all the way back, all you do is you let go of the button, and you push it in the same direction again, and that's going to pull this part back, and as you can see, a net came up. Now, to close the sunroof, all you have to do is in the other direction, you push this button down, and it's gonna close it for you. And then that net is coming down to make space for that to close. Now that that part is in, all you have to do is you do the same movement again, and it's gonna close the cover. Now that we are done with the front of the A5, let's move on to the back. Beautiful day. Sitting in the back of the A5, I can say that I am comfortable. I have enough knee space, more than enough. And then I can also get more space by putting my legs under the seat because they fit. I also have headroom, which I also have a good amount of. Now, not too spacious in the headroom department, but it's enough and I'm not uncomfortable. So if you're going to be driving around in the A5 with fully grown adults in the back, then they're going to be pretty tight in shoulder room. As you can see, my thigh is already leaning into whoever's going to be sitting in this middle seat if it's occupied. So they're going to be pretty crunched up like this, just so this person could sit here. It's going to be a very tight fit back here because they're going to be taking up some of their space and some of their space. So while sitting in the middle seat, it's really uncomfortable. The sloping roof line is coming down very, very aggressively here in the middle seat. If you have somebody sitting here, their head, they're going to be very uncomfortable up on the roof line. So yes, it's not going to be practical having 3 fully grown adults. If you're going to be driving around with 2 people on each side, wow, it's wonderful. You have plenty of room here and here. But Audi wasn't really taking into account the person who's going to be sitting here. They're going to be very uncomfortable. So just take that into note. So that's one of the downsides of the back seat in the A5. Now let's take a look at what the A5 did right in the back seat. So we have our heated seats, 3 increments on the left and right side, nothing in the middle. We have our temperature control here, and we have a 12-volt charger here with USBs. So now moving over here, we have the middle part of the rear seat, which comes down and can turn into a center divider with cup holders. You see? So if you don't have anybody in the middle seat, which is best in the A5, then you will have cup holders in the center, which is really good because you really don't want to put anybody in the middle seat. Please don't do that to anybody. So if you want to put something in that you cannot fit in the trunk, then you can get additional space by pulling on this and bringing this whole seat down. If you have a long board or something that you want to put in here, you can do it with the A5. And again, all the seats in here fold down. So what we're going to do is there's a switch right here, and we're going to pull this and it comes down as well. See? And now we have the trunk fully exposed, which is where we're going to go next. Now to open the trunk, there is a switch under here. You just push up on it and it opens. Completely automized. Now we have the trunk fully exposed, good amount of space, and it has a hatchback design. So something that you'll notice in here is that there is a lot of space for a car with this kind of slope roof. Okay, you get a lot of cargo space, especially if you fold the second row. Now moving this over, we have some nets here and a little cargo space here with a net. We have latches, and we have this right here. Now you're going to push down on here, similar to how you open a Tesla door, and then you pull this up and you have your spare tire. Thank you, Audi. Then we have reinforced steel to make sure that we don't hurt the car when we're putting stuff in or bringing stuff out. And I think that's enough for the trunk. So to close it, you have 2 options. You can do the lock symbol, and this basically closes the hatch but also locks all the doors. But if you just want to close this, then you're going to push this button right here and it closes it for you. So a few words to sum up the A5. It's a practical car. It'll stop on a dime. It'll accelerate on a dime. It's quick. 201 horsepower is enough. You do not need the 45 badge with 261 horsepower. Very practical. Cargo space is abundant. It's a hatchback, so you have that smooth, sleek roofline, but it also goes up in a manner of a hatchback, so you have plenty of cargo space. Audi has done wonders with the A5. If you want something to drive around in comfort, the A5 has you covered. If you are looking for performance, the A5 has you covered. It's a good all-around car, and driving around the city, the A5 is not going to have a problem. So the A5 has good visibility throughout the entire car. Steering is nice and stiff, responsive. You get good feedback when you're turning. Yeah, sports suspension is doing its thing. Oh man, I remember when I was driving the Mach-E. Good car, but every time it would hit a bump, oh my god, the whole car would bounce like if you were on a trampoline. So it's really nice to see the Audi not having those same sort of problems, because yeah, that could be dangerous when the whole car is flopping around like jello. Anything that you throw at the A5, it's going to be well equipped. If you want comfort, it has it. If you want performance, it has it. Now, you have to remember that not every A5 is going to come with everything that we went over. We have the Prestige, which is the top of the line, which is why we have all the bells and whistles that we talked about earlier. All right, everyone, that is the review. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. We would love to hear your feedback. Thank you very much. Bye.